Please welcome Matthew Emerzian and Kelly Bozza, Every Monday Matters. Matthew Emerzian was born in La Jolla and grew up in Modesto. He went to UCLA and learned that he was no longer the big fish, but he also learned how to work hard playing water polo. He later got his MBA at UCLA and helped lead the water polo team to a national championship as the assistant coach. After an 8-year career in the music industry as vice president of a major music marketing company, a massive panic attack started him on a journey that continues today, which, in his grandfather's words, is to live every day like it's your last and try to affect as many people's lives in a positive way as you can. Kelly Bozza was raised in Orange County and learned early on to make a difference, organizing the monthly paper drive in elementary school, doing the 20-mile walkathon to prevent birth defects in high school, volunteering to work with molested children in college. Kelly went to UCLA, got her MBA, and began a successful career in banking and became one of the youngest senior vice presidents at a major bank. A couple of mergers provided her the opportunity to step away from corporate life for a while, and she had time to help a struggling child learn to read. From this, she learned that her mission in life was to have a positive impact on people's lives. Please welcome Matthew Emerzian and Kelly Bozza.
Have you made today matter? Imagine a day when the homeless have a home.
When no one honks their horn.
When there are no cigarette butts on the ground.
When everyone is smiling.
When no one is hungry.
When all kids have books to read.
Clothes to wear.
Imagine a day when... Imagine.
If you're like most people, you want to contribute.
Make a difference and have a positive impact on society.
But maybe you don't know what to do, where to go.
Or how to get others involved.
Every Monday Matters takes 52 Mondays, 52 activities.
To create 52 ways to make a difference.
It's about ordinary people doing extraordinary good.
Do something for others.
Take care of yourself.
Protect the environment.
Give from your heart. Volunteer your time.
Donate something. Anything.
Help us change the image of Mondays from the day you dread
to the day that means something amazing.
So get started. Don't wait.
This is your opportunity. Get involved.
Get the book and talk to your friends.
Your family, your coworkers.
Be committed.
It starts with you. You have the power to make a difference. You matter. Go to everymondaymatters.com and share with us how you make Mondays matter.
Thanks. When I woke up this morning and started thinking about the opportunity to come and speak to all of you today, I really thought, how cool is it that I get to sit in a room with people that invented the phrase, just Google it, and it's a household name. I thought, wow, this is really, really a cool opportunity. And so we're honored to be here. And I want to thank Richard and Lori and Inka because they really put it all together to make it happen today. So thank you. And we're hoping that we'll have some fun today and talk back and forth a little bit. I'm going to start off really by what most people ask us first is, how did you come up with the idea for Every Monday Matters? And it might surprise you how ideas come up, but probably not here at Google. It really started with the phrase, dude, you're weird. That's how the entire concept of Every Monday Matters started. Matt called me up one night and he said, do you think it's weird that I picked up a piece of trash off the ground? And I'm like, no. Like, is this a trick question? I'm like, no. And he had been ruminating on this thought for 8 or 9 hours because at lunch that day, on his way back from lunch with a coworker, they were walking back to their office and he picked up a piece of trash on the ground and his coworker said to him, dude, you're weird. Like, why would you pick that up? And it really sat and kind of ate at Matt for at least 8 hours. I mean, if you think about it, when he called me and said, do you think it's weird? Do you think I'm weird? I picked up a piece of trash. And we kind of ended up in this 1.5-hour conversation that was really focused on, why don't people do like the things that we all do? Like, help people that, need help in a wheelchair get over a curb, or give flowers to their elderly neighbor, or donate blood, or, help kids, or whatever their thing might be. Why don't more people do that? And as we kind of talked about it, I really, I've spent a lot of time volunteering and working for organizations that are nonprofit. I said, honestly, I think it's people just really don't know where to go or what to do or what's needed in their community. And from that conversation, as Matt and I talked, and he'd been obviously thinking about it for 8 hours, he quickly felt that there was a need to get the word out to more people and to do it in a way that was very simple and easy to understand and to get people in action. And that's why if you take a look at the book, you'll see that each Monday starts with compelling facts on why that particular activity for that Monday is needed, how you can take action today rather than think about it and have to organize people and not, have to do it, 2 months from now, but how you could actually take action today, and then what kind of impact that'll make. And that really came out of that first conversation in an hour and a half. So we came up with our first 19 activities on that hour and a half phone call, and then I was leaving for vacation, and Matt said, while you're on vacation, you need to think of some more. And when I came back, between the two of us, we had come up with 33 different Mondays. And so that's where our story begins, and then from that point, we got led in a lot of different directions. We started sharing our idea with people, and we wrote some sample pages, and we did a lot of down a lot of tangents for about a year. And finally, a year into it, we said, you know what, we just need to start writing. We just need to get out there the information. And so we spent 9 months writing. Matt lives in LA, so every Tuesday night I went up to LA after work. We both had full-time jobs. I went up to LA on Tuesday nights, and Matt came down to my house here in Orange County on Sundays, and that's how we worked. We spent 9 months researching and writing, and did a lot of Google searches. I will tell you that, a lot. Google was my very best friend.
Google matters.
In a big way. And that's really how the book got written. We never really set out to write a book. It was just an idea that came from the simple sentence, dude, you're weird. And so when we got done writing, we kind of said, okay, now what? We don't have an agent. We don't know that we know anyone in the publishing industry. What do we do now? And we knew that we wanted our book to be very visual, which is what you see. And so we felt that if we just put it on black and white paper and handed it into a publisher like every other manuscript that they probably get, that it wouldn't pop the way we really wanted to. So we actually came up with, this is actually the first generation of our book, but it was a sample that we made that we sent out to the publishing company. And you'll see that it's really similar to the book that you have there. And we were incredibly fortunate because when we sent it to a literary agent, she said, how many more of these packages can I get? And we were like, oh, that's a good sign. Someone else likes it. Seriously, because literary agents, they won't take anything. And when she said, oh, yeah, I like it. How many more can I get? We went, whoa, okay, that's a good sign. And then within 3 weeks of getting it to the literary agent and her getting it out, we were in a bidding war with a couple different publishing companies. And we knew at that point that there was information that communities all over the country, all over the world needed on how they could go out and make a difference if there was that much interest in what we were doing. So our book actually was published in January of this year. And you can pretty much find it anywhere. We're in Amazon, Borders, Barnes & Noble, Target, Z Gallery, Franklin Covey,
FedEx,
Kinko's. I think I got them all.
The major ones,
Yeah, I got all the major ones. So we're really very thrilled and grateful for the opportunities we've been given. Some things that have happened since we've launched the book. We now have our book in hardbound. You see the paperback copy. Simple Truths just last week and a half ago came out with a hardbound copy. And Simple Truths, you guys might know. Do you guys remember a company called Successories where they made these beautiful photographs and then they had very motivational sayings underneath? Well, the folks that started Successories actually started Simple Truths as well. And so now they put out these books that are very motivational, and ours was one of the ones that they released about 10 days ago. And they make hardbound copies, mostly for the corporate world, a lot of corporate gifts, a lot of things like that. So we're thrilled with that. And then we have another organization called Books Are Fun that just picked us up and is going to put the books in everywhere from hospitals to a special events, those kinds of schools, those kinds of things. So there's really kind of some exciting things that now are starting to generate as we put it together. And I look back to that day, which was really about 4 years ago, I think, when you think a simple idea comes from just a real simple conversation and how things happen from there. So.
And I think one of the things that Kelly talked about is what we were trying to create with this book. And like she also said, you come up with an idea, and I'm sure all of you, Google's so creative that you come up with ideas all the time, and sometimes you think they're completely crazy, and sometimes you try some, sometimes you don't. And what we really wanted to do here is just try to get people to understand that they mattered, and you didn't have to be famous, you don't have to be a politician, a celebrity. Just us average, ordinary people can go out there and make a difference. And you see it in voting. My vote doesn't matter. I'm not going to vote in this election. And at the end of the day, these actions do matter. And back to that whole picking up the litter thing, my first thought was, there's 300 million people in this country alone. What would happen if all of us picked up one piece of trash? That's 300 million less pieces that day. And that's pretty phenomenal. And it just so happened to be that when this whole thing happened, it was during the last presidential election, and obviously we all understand how much finger pointing happens during these times. And my thought was, instead of pointing fingers, why don't we just all look in the mirror and say, what can I do to make a difference for our country and for the world? And so really that's what we wanted people to do. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. People matter. You have a responsibility to do it. As we researched more, we read some amazing studies about people who absolutely say that littering is wrong, yet they're a smoker and they don't look at flicking their cigarette butt as littering. And the more we learned and got into this, it's a fascinating space. And so in understanding how to help people get to this place, like Kelly mentioned earlier, we had to make it simple for the book. And my favorite part of the book is the research, the statistics. And every Monday, as you can all see, there's 3 sections: the facts, the take action steps, and the impact statement, the You Matter statement. And really, it's not just go do these things because it feels good and it's going to warm your heart, but it's do it because there is a real need out there. And I've been asked in interviews and stuff, what's my favorite statistic? And it happens to be the cigarette butt statistic, because you'll see in the book that if you take every cigarette butt that's littered in America throughout the year and put them end on end, they'll go from LA to New York 337 times. And I think when you look at it that way and you see it that way, it's mind-boggling to me, in that we kind of build this cigarette butt freeway across our country every year. So that's kind of the story of the book, and obviously you have it in your hands and you can kind of see in what it's all about. But for us, the most exciting part has been this movement that we're calling it, that's been created from this book. And we are just seeing so many amazing things happening, and we're getting story after story after story from people. And when I joke and say that Google matters, it truly does matter to us, not just because of the research, but because on our website, we use so many tools from Google, between the mapping program. You can go on there, and if you live in Akron, Ohio, and you've done something to make a difference, you can actually send it to us, the story to us, and we'll actually put a push pin on the map there with your story on there. We use YouTube quite a bit for a lot of different things. Our calendar, I'm in LA, Kelly is in Orange County, so we calendar together with the Google Calendar. So many ways that we use Google to make this thing work, so we're not joking when we say that Google matters. The website for us is really a tool to kind of house this movement, and on there we have videos, we share all the stories, there's a lot of blogging that happens. We do different campaigns that we'll launch that ask people to come to the website. Additionally, in the book, for example, Monday number 1 is what matters most, and the premise of that day is, we give you how most Americans spend their time, and then we basically ask you to make a list of what matters most to you, and then compare that to your current schedule and how you spend your time currently, and to see where you're either right on or right off. And on our website, we give you tools. There's PDFs you can download, scheduling PDFs that you can use to kind of help you go through this exercise. So it also works to support some of the days in the book. In terms of the stories, there's one story that we like to share because it's really when this went from just being a book to actually something that's very real, and it's a movement, and it's something that's making a difference. And there's a young woman, her name is Darby. She's 24 years old. She lives in Palm Springs, California. And she sent us an email telling us a story that she was driving down the road and she saw a car pulled over on the side of the street with a door open and a woman hanging out of the car with her head resting on the asphalt. So Darby decides that she's going to stop her car to see what she can do. And this woman was there with her husband who's had Alzheimer's for 35 years. He really couldn't do much to help her, and she was actually there to commit suicide. And she was going to throw herself in front of oncoming traffic. And so Darby sat with her for a couple hours, helped her calm down, and emailed us this story, which included the story and a thank you letter from this woman to Darby for saving her life. And at the end of it, Darby said, if it wasn't for your book, I would have never stopped to help this woman. And fortunately for, I think, the world, Darby happened to read Monday number 52 first, because she only had the book for like 3 days. And that Monday is, we call it your day. Basically, we say you've done 51 of these, you kind of get the program. 52 is yours. So whatever you want to go out and do today to make a difference, you go make it happen. And that story, I think, is really when Kelly and I looked at this and we're like, okay, wow, we have something really special here, and there's a movement that's happening, and we're in for quite a ride. So recently, I brought a video here because just actually 3 days ago, this guy named Pat Hawks posted a video on YouTube, and through our Google blog alerts, we got alerted of it, and I just brought you in to share it with you because I think it's just it's a neat thing to see how, again, it's becoming so viral and organic what people are doing. So it's just like a 1.5-minute video.
Every Monday Matters, week number 5. Eat healthy. How often do you stop and think about what you're eating? What you're putting into your body? 400,000 people die every year from poor eating habits or laziness. You deserve to be in good health. Think about the kind of food that you normally eat, the things that you usually snack on. Recently, I've really been trying to keep track of what I eat. How many calories I take in a day, how much sodium, trans fat, saturated fat, cholesterol, the things that really matter. For a while, I was really trying hard to work out every day. That didn't last too long. But it's not difficult to just keep track of what you're eating. Even keeping a journal of everything that you eat for a week. You'll really be surprised in how much it is. I know I was surprised with how much I ate in a day. And once you know, you can work to change it, making better habits, eating different kinds of foods, put down the ice cream scoop, and being healthier feels better. For the past 6 months or so, I've been really careful about the kinds of foods that I eat, how much I eat, and how often I eat. And I've noticed a little bit of a difference in my weight, but I've noticed a big difference in how much energy I have, and even my attitude. I feel better during the day. And drink a lot of water, because a lot of times when you feel hungry, you're actually just thirsty. So try it. Keep track of what you're eating and try and eat healthier. Eat to live. Don't live to eat.
So we contacted Pat just Friday last week, and he's decided actually to do this for a year. And he's going to do these and post them on YouTube for a year. So obviously we're pretty excited about that. I find it to be particularly funny. And some of his ideas are, we were talking on Friday about the No TV Day, which is Monday number 2, and he's talking about how he wants to have this conversation with the television set, where he then gets upset with it and ends up throwing it off his roof and smashing it and stuff. And obviously, perfect content for YouTube sort of stuff. So we're pretty excited about it. We also have been starting to do a lot of events. We call them Parties with a Purpose, and it's Monday, I believe number 11 in the book. And the idea is that we all go to so many events and so many parties, and the amount of birthday parties alone, and in Southern California here, all the barbecues, but how many times do we go to these things and actually have them be for a purpose? So we were involved with an event up in Hollywood at the King. It's for an organization called Invisible Children. It's down in San Diego. They're very involved in helping the children in Uganda who have been kidnapped and displaced to become soldiers. And so we're going to show you this little piece. We did it with Ben McKenzie from the OC, and I think it kind of is another way just of showing how this energy and this movement is moving forward.
Well, after having seen the suffering of the civilian population in northern Uganda, I'm appalled, frankly. It's a moral outrage to see thousands of children that have been abducted, that are maltreated, that are going through the most horrendous torture by the rebel movement, and also the same groups now being neglected to some extent by the whole international community. I cannot find any other part of the world having an emergency on the scale of Uganda with so little international attention.
And here I am at the King in Hollywood for Every Monday Matters, and this week's segment is Party with a Purpose. How many parties have you been to this year? How many birthday parties, graduation parties? How many heart-shaped boxes have you purchased for Valentine's Day? Why not make every party have a purpose like this one? Ben McKenzie, of course, from Fox's OC is hosting it. He's backstage inside. Let's walk down this red carpet and go meet him.
Party with a purpose.
Party with a purpose. So tell me about this party and what we're going to be doing tonight.
Sure. Well, basically, we wanted to do something that wasn't too serious. That wasn't just, kind of dwelling on the situation, which is pretty dire, but we wanted to have something that was more uplifting and enjoyable. So the party is directly benefiting a specific child, Emmy, who is an African orphan. Both parents died of AIDS. And the surprise.
And is Emmy going to be here tonight?
He's actually here, which is
tonight.
incredible. Yeah.
Every Monday Matters has so much to do about making a difference in life, whether it's on a big scale or a smaller scale. And,
right.
and because you're so blessed to be a celebrity, it's amazing that you're able to do something like this. But don't you think that others out there can do something like this or different than this on a smaller scale?
Well, sure. I think there's some saying the greatest revolutions start with a single person, and the longest journeys start with a single step. You start these things small, and then one person tells another person, and soon they become revolution. Just bringing people together, especially young people, and just kind of having fun, but doing it with a purpose and contributing to a very good charity.
Yes, people can do it too for engagement parties, even.
Sure.
Wedding gifts.
There are no rules.
There are no rules.
You can do
anything.
Whatever. Sure. Bar mitzvahs.
Bar mitzvahs.
About this event tonight because it's happening tonight, right now.
And sometimes the biggest things that you can do are pretty much the easiest things you can do.
Instead of exchanging gifts is that we will sponsor a child or two over in Uganda.
Smiling,
letting them know they're loved.
Test the sound?
Yes, we do.
For us, we're like, this horrible thing is going on, but what can we do to reinvent the world? What can we do to change the situation? Just one thing can make a world of difference. You don't know the ripples effect that you will have.
Every Monday matters.
So ladies and gentlemen from Gulu, Uganda, this is Emmy.
So that's a party with a purpose, and we do these now about once a month up in Los Angeles, and we're hoping to duplicate that around the country, and people are kind of stepping up and volunteering to kind of help lead that charge. I think Kelly and I now have kind of shifted from being authors now to kind of, I would say, more like movementeers or something, and we're kind of like, how do we build this brand out there? We have a lot of schools that have come forward to us and saying our teachers are now using the book in the classroom. And one of our favorite stories on that is there is a teacher in Los Angeles who took the write a thank you letter to a firefighter day and kind of did a twist on it and said write a thank you letter to a janitor day. And so in her third grade class they brought in the janitor, his name's Raul. And they basically interviewed him, the class did, the students. They got to know him, they wrote him a thank you letter. And she sent us all these letters that these kids wrote. She talked about how the kids now, during recess, she'll see them out there picking up trash with Raul. And if they see another one of their friends drop trash down, like they'll get a little bit upset and say, hey, pick that up, because if you don't do it, Raul's going to have to do it. So now we're working with LA Unified School District to create curriculum for the classroom for Every Monday Matters. And we hope that we can start to teach these kids these lessons at a younger age. And we are working on a corporate program. You know, obviously, you just need to walk around these offices to see Google gets that between the recycle bins and this might be too much information, but the little Fix-It program you guys have, I noticed in your restroom. Which seems like a pretty cool program. And obviously, we all read in the news about the money that Google donates around the world to so many causes. But there are so many companies out there that aren't on that same level, and we get approached by them quite a bit right now and asking us if we can come in there and help them institute just a corporate citizen social awareness program for these companies. So we are becoming business consultants on that level, which is another exciting realm for us. We're about to launch a t-shirt line, and we've trademarked the term You Matter. And so we're launching a t-shirt line with a company called Local Celebrity. Local Celebrity manufactures most of kind of the vintage t-shirts you see in Urban Outfitters and Nordstrom's and Macy's and everywhere. They're in 2,000 stores around the world. And we're doing a partnership with them. We're launching with 4 shirts, and each color will be for a different cause. So the green shirt will be for environment, the orange is for children, gray is for hunger, and blue is for building water wells. And with this is where our foundation that we started, the Every Monday Matters Foundation, comes into play, because we're partnering with other nonprofits. So if you're Charity Water, which is a water well company, we're partnering with them, and they'll help to promote these t-shirts. And when someone comes to our site to order the shirt, there'll be a drop-down menu. They can select Charity Water as the beneficiary. Then when they place the order, we'll then give a donation to Charity Water so they can go out and do what they do. So we're just trying to, obviously we want to have the best selling t-shirt line in the world, because that means that's the more we do that, the more money we're donating to charity to go out there and make these changes. And each month we'll come out with a new cause or something we'll support. And if there happens to be an event like a Katrina or something that comes, happens suddenly and tragically, that we can come in and try to provide something for that. So we're launching the t-shirt line. We've recently been approached by some pretty significant television people who want to do an Every Monday Matters TV show. So it's been a crazy 6 months. So you guys can imagine, since this has come out, from 2 people who've never written a book before in their lives, and 8 years in the music industry, and Kelly's been in banking forever, and now all of a sudden it's just such an amazing shift in our lives. And I can honestly say that it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. Working with people and the stories, and just seeing the effects that Every Monday Matters is already having on the world, and also meeting other people through this journey who are already doing some of the most spectacular things that I never really even knew they were out there until I kind of got into this space. And I kind of compare it to, like, if you want to buy a new car, and let's say it's a red pickup truck, all of a sudden every car you see on the streets are red pickup trucks. You don't want one anymore, and it's kind of happening with us now. We just keep coming across incredible people who are really out there doing some amazing things. So we feel extremely blessed, and eventually we're going to get back to writing our next book. And there's so many books that we want to go. And someone asked me earlier, so what about Tuesdays? And it's kind of a joke, like, does every Tuesday matter and every Wednesday matter and or only Mondays? And we've tossed this around a lot. We're probably going to go with an every Monday matters for kids, every Monday matters for business leaders, every Monday matters for church leaders, and keep it kind of, I mean, in some ways it becomes a little bit like a chicken soup for the soul, which has done pretty well. And so we're going to eventually get back to writing our next book and coming out with that. But right now we're just focused on so many different things that really, and it's mostly just the two of us. So we work a lot of hours, but it's certainly a labor of love. And through this journey, we've learned a lot. I think Kelly's going to share with you a little bit about what we've learned and go from there.
Yeah, it's interesting when you know, Matt said, we've worked a lot of hours, but you guys know when you're passionate about something and what you're doing, it's amazing how quickly time flies and how much you're into it and how you're not as tired as you thought you were going to be because it's something that you love. And in the introduction of our book, we actually wrote some of the things that we've found as we've kind of been on this journey. And I'm just going to read a few of them. But the first one is, it's fulfilling to be both valuable to someone and valued. It's more rewarding to lift someone up than to let someone down. To consume less doesn't mean that we live without. And when we befriend our neighbor, we benefit the world. And when we were preparing on Sunday and we started to look at, what we found, we went on the Google website. Good researchers do their homework before they show up. And we saw the 10 things that Google knows to be true. And we started looking at them and we're like, we can kind of identify with this. And so we did our own spin on the 10 things that Google knows to be true and applied those to Every Monday Matters. So I'm going to read through them.
Wish us luck.
So number one, focus on the user and all else will follow. When we wrote this book, the whole purpose was for it to make it easy for people to implement. And when I look at Google products and the ones that we use, it's really about how to make it easier for the end user, and that's really how we applied it to our book. And that it can, when people take action, it can really make a difference. So that's number one. Number two, it's best to do one thing really, really well. That's why we started with 1 day a week, Monday. Because, if we can do 1 out of 7 well, we're good. Number three, fast is better than slow. Well, on Pick Up Litter Day, the more trash you pick up, the faster, the quicker, the better. On Exercise Day, the faster you run, the more calories you burn. Matt probably knows a little more about that than I do. He runs a little faster than I do. Number four, democracy on the web works. Well, we like that one because if you Google Every Monday Matters, we're the first thing that shows up. It works for us. You don't need to be at your desk to need an answer is number 5. Well, we're kind of a paperless, now global, with 2 offices, one in LA County, one in Orange County, and soon to be Sacramento. So, we get that.
Home officing.
Yeah, home officing, mobile, work from home, telecommute, we like that. Number 6, you can make money without doing evil. And, Every Monday Matters is really focused on humanity, the environment, community development, and philanthropy. So that's something that we really, really believe in, is how do you do good out there in our communities. Number 7, there's always more information out there. As Matt mentioned, we're constantly learning from people. And it's amazing when people blog into us the ideas that are generated just because they read one of the days in our book and they took a twist on how they implemented it, like the story about Raul the janitor. And I'll tell you, there's just more and more information out there as you talk with more and more people. It's amazing the ideas that come up. Number 8, the need for information crosses all borders. kind of to tag on to what I just said, there's so much information out there you don't know what to do. But you know, what we were really our intent with this book is how do we connect with towns and suburbs and communities and organizations to really go out there and make a difference on Mondays, and how can we do it so that young folks are attracted to it and older folks are attracted to it, and it doesn't matter what your race or ethnicity is, that it will cross all bounds to go out and make a difference and have a positive impact on people's lives. And that's really one of that's a key tentacle that goes through our book. 9, you can be serious without a suit. Well, actually, we kind of talked about this, and we're like, well, you could be serious even in a bathing suit, because 50% of this book was researched and written by the pool in my backyard. And Matt figured out how if you put 2 boogie boards on top of each other, it actually makes a desk, and it doesn't submerge in the water, and so he could have his papers out there and be editing. So yeah, pretty creative. So you can be serious even in a bathing suit. And then great just isn't good enough. Wow, we're just ordinary people, and we've come across so many people that are just like you and I, that are really extraordinary in what they're doing to go out there and make a difference. And when you look at that, we kind of said, when we read that, we go, you know what? Extraordinary is even better than being great. And so that was a big piece of, what the movement's about, what Every Monday Matters is about. So I think we're ready for question and answers.
Yeah, so we thought we'd just leave some time for question and answers, and then we have a small little 5-minute exercise that we want to do after that. So if you guys have questions, please feel free to raise your hand or just shout them out. But not all at once. Go ahead.
You guys thought about translating the book into other languages? Like Google is a very international company now. Like I'm actually from Brazil and all these things. Have you guys thought about going internationally and starting moving forward? Because of course language could be a barrier in some countries. So have you guys thought about that?
It's a great question, actually, and it's interesting you're from Brazil, because we just got contacted by the UN in Brazil, who somehow they got a hold of our book and they want to talk about doing a product for Brazil via the UN. So we are thinking about a lot of those things, yes.
Yeah, and we've had, we're not sure how, but we've had a lot of interest in Japan. And the videos, like the Ben McKenzie video that you saw, and we did another one with Nick Cannon, those videos have landed on websites all over the world in all different languages. And so there is a huge interest outside the country. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we've talked about, though, is our research is all based on U.S. facts. So trying to relate those to that country and understand some of the cultures in those countries and what's good and what's taboo is something that we'd need to take on and be able to research all of that as well to make it significant for them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I wondered if you would mind passing around that sample that you used.
Oh, sure. Sure, absolutely, to see what it looks like. One of the things I do want to share with you that I didn't mention earlier is we're so fortunate with our publisher, Thomas Nelson. We actually put this sample together so that people could see, what our vision was. And 2 of our friends, one of John Brown did all of the photography in the book, and then another friend actually did all the creative and the layout design. Because we really didn't want to have stock photography in our book that you could see everywhere. We really wanted to have photographs that were personalized to our movement, because we really visualized that some days these might be a billboard, they might be, you don't know how they're going to be used. So we were really very fortunate actually to be able to use our friends and have them involved in this. So I'll start it here and then it'll move around.
Yeah.
How did you choose the 52 items from the book? I mean, I imagine there are a lot more than that.
Sure.
To choose from.
We basically got the master list, and it ended up being closer to, I think, 80 or something after we spent some more time on the list. And then we just tried to organize it somehow. So, there's some main categories that these Mondays fall into. Obviously, there's days for the environment. There's days, which is, Plant a Tree Day, Choose Canvas, Bag Day, Don't Litter Day. There's days for yourself, which include, eat healthy, exercise, read a book, appreciate music. There are things for helping other people, volunteering, donating. They're kind of the quick hit kind of days, you know, smile, hug. So we just wanted to make it kind of a well-rounded, it's not just a green book, it's just to make a difference across the board book. So once we kind of categorized them, then it was just a matter of, okay, which of this long list do we like the most, and we just fit them into the 52. But the good news for us is that we still have some left for the next book, so. Exactly, for Tuesday. I think we're going to stick with Every Monday Matters, but then make it for specific audiences. I think it's how we're going to go.
Yeah, we have a lot of like moms doing activities with their kids. Actually, Matt was just up north a couple weeks back talking to a group of mothers that actually every Monday go out with their kids and pick a different day in our book and go do it as a group. And so there's been a lot of interest there. There's been a lot of different interest with high schoolers because now they're required to do community service before they graduate, and there isn't a planned curriculum in the education system for them to do that. So they usually go, you know, ask their parents, who ask their friends, you know, what can they do to volunteer? And this actually makes it a little bit more fun and interesting. They get to, you know, maybe appeal to different interests. And then corporations, you know, gosh, being a good corporate citizen is really on the rise. I mean, some of what you guys are doing is so innovative at Google, but there's companies out there that want to do more than just write a check to the local charity. They want to get their employees more involved and more connected to the community. And so we're finding that there's a lot of interest in that area as well.
Does your colleague still consider you weird that you pick up trash?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Does your colleague still consider you weird that you
I think she'll always, her or the other one?
Dude, you're weird.
You know, a lot of my friends from back in the music industry days probably think I'm even weirder now. Because my lifestyle today is a little different than it used to be. Yeah. There's a few nicknames out there, I'm sure.
So has his attitude turned around? I mean, if he thought you were weird for just picking up a piece of trash, he doesn't seem like a very cool guy.
Honestly, I haven't even spoken to him since I left the music industry.
So you need to send him the book.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. Since he was the inspiration.
Right. And send
By
him
the way.
Send him $1 with it so it doesn't come out to me. No. I should send him a book.
Have him spend a day with Raoul.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that.
There you go.
I like that. Yeah, that ought to be interesting.
All right, because we're kind of a little bit short on time, one thing that we do, or we call them campaigns, and we did our first one, and it was a Thank a Firefighter campaign. We launched them on our website, and the idea is that for that one was, you know, firefighters, so many of them are volunteer workers. The numbers are staggering. I mean, some fire stations are 100% volunteer operated. And obviously in California, we're seeing how hard they're working right now, more than ever. So we did a campaign to have people write a thank you letter to a firefighter. And then once we collected them, people volunteered that they would actually handwrite these letters and deliver them to fire stations around the country. And we ended up delivering over 2,500 thank you letters to fire stations. And so we've been talking a lot about what should our next campaign be. And I just thought I might open it up to this creative group of people. If there's anything that, as you were listening, was jumping, like, well, this day might be cool, or this thing might be, you know, a neat thing to try, and outside of the box as far as you want to go.
This could be Google's day.
Yeah.
I would say thank an elderly person for their contributions in your life. I visited a woman for years. Her husband died and she had a stroke, and she only had one son, and he's an executive up in Beverly Hills. And he couldn't get down to see her.
Right.
So I visited her up until the time she died, and she contributed so much to my life. You know, so maybe spend a day with an elderly person you don't know.
You know, it's an interesting point that you mentioned too, because oftentimes you think you're the one that's providing to her life, but
she provided very much to my
yeah,
you walk
it's
away.
it's amazing how that works.
And you hear some amazing stories from people that are older than us and what they've gone through. And I think it makes us feel even more grateful about sort of how easy our life is compared to what puts things in a different perspective. Yeah, it really does.
Okay, now I'm thinking. Anyone else?
I just want to say that Monday 19th says adopt a pet. Everybody out there to be adopted.
Are you a big animal fan?
You can adopt a pet. If you can't have a pet, you can walk your friend's dog. You can visit a shelter and hang out with the animals that day.
Volunteer at a shelter.
Yeah, volunteer at a shelter.
At the pet stores too, you know, they have those adoption
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
programs too. Yeah, they all often meet people to go there and help out, you know, clean the cages, feed the animals.
I was in Laguna Beach recently with my niece, who's 5, and we went to the shelter there, and they had a rooster. So you could actually adopt this gigantic rooster. He was huge. She could not get over that there was a rooster there that you could take home. Oh, it was funny. It was beautiful.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, last year I adopted a cat from Humane Society, and we can't imagine what would have happened to the cat. He's such a great cat. He's really good. Although he tipped over a water glass this morning and soaked my wallet, but I forgave him. because he's a close friend now. He's part of the family.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't Punch or something, you know.
Good to know you're not sending him back over water.
Yeah.
And somebody else gave him up for adoption.
Isn't that wild?
For 10 or 11 years.
Wow. Can't imagine giving a pet away that you've had that long.
Also, just so you guys know, you can go to our website if you're interested, and there's a newsletter sign up. We send out a newsletter every Monday that just talks about the different things that are going on with Every Monday Matters and shares stories that people have done. We ask that a lot from people so we can share them because it inspires others to open their minds and go do things as well. Well, maybe we'll play around with the Elderly Day. I'm thinking that there's something there for that brewing. All right, well, we're going to end with just another short video. It's actually a blooper reel of the first video that you saw. It's the outtakes. And a little self-deprecation is always good, we figured. So hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Has some snapshots in it from some of the other videos, too.
Yeah. And there's one girl in it that wasn't very happy with us when we were done, and I'm sure you're going to end up figuring out which one it was. But it's all in fun.
Have you made today matter?
Make a difference and have make a difference and have a positive impact.
Something unbelievable. I said unbelievable.
Bring it on! Donkey Kong.
Mom. Where's my mom?
If you're like most people, you want to make it. What is that?
What made you think of Donkey Kong?
No one is coughing.
There, look over there. Say you!
Hi,
Where? Have you made today matter? Oh, God.
I totally got it.
Help us change.
Every Monday matters. What is this hand doing?
I know. So in just a few minutes, Nick Cannon's going to walk in on. This is so pressuresome. I'm really so quiet.
Honey, this is not that kind of a film, all right?
Baby, where to go? Where am I going?
I'm having so much fun right now.
Every Monday Matters takes 52 days, 52 activities. Every Monday Matters takes 52 Mondays, 52 activities. Can you say it and I'll repeat it, or do I need to say it like flowing? Every Monday Matters takes 52 Mondays, 52 ways, 52 activities to make a difference. Every Monday Matters takes 52 Mondays, 52 activities, 52 ways to create. No. You want to hold the paper like above your head? Every Monday Matters takes 52 Mondays, 52 ways, 50-way activities to make a difference. Every Monday Matters takes 52. Every Monday Matters takes. Every Monday Matters takes 52 Mondays. Is that what I was supposed to say?
Okay, maybe I should do a different one.
Every Monday Matters is about people making a. Why can't I say it? Should I say it with more enthusiasm?
Something incredible. Something incredible. Something incredible?
Shut up!
Here in Hollywood at the King King. Here at the King King in Hollywood for Every Monday Matters. And tonight we are, hey everyone, I'm Tanya Memmi, and here we are at the King King in Hollywood for And here we are at King King in Hollywood for Party with a Purpose. How many heart-shaped boxes do we buy for Valentine's Day? This is a party. Hey everyone, here I am at the King King in, oh wait, I gotta say my name.
This is why we make the big box, you guys. Right here.
Because my smiles are just really awkward. Because I don't know where to put my lips sometimes.
Oh, God.
With more parents working, wait.
This is more nerve-wracking than you think. Did I do my weird blinking thing?
Something unbelievable. Every Monday Matters is about people taking responsibility and making a difference.
Get committed.
Again, ready? 1, 2, 3. Suck to the heart, and you're too late.
There's almost a little beatbox there.
I know.
I liked it too.
Something unbelievable. Every Monday Matters is about people taking responsibility to make a difference.
Tell me if I should keep going or move on to something else. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much.
Appreciate it.